equal money system as community. Now, it is interesting how communism has the word community hidden within it. It just has an ism, stuck at the end, so itty. So, equal money is about the community, just like applying Jesus' message from Christianity to a system that actually supports that as its core basis. Is like the leading flag. Love your neighbor as thyself, and also the rest of the important living applications of Jesus' message. And this would be the driving force, the driving slogan, the driving campaign, at least part of it, or at least it could be. It would at least represent it well, and for the actual implementation of the equal money system. Now, of course, the technicals of it is how it's achieved. That's what's important. That's already being investigated, and of course, up until the point that it's being implemented, even probably after, it's still going to be continuing to be investigated. So it's the most optimal and most fair way. But we already have a great idea, or at least a great starting point. We can at least, it's applicable. It can be applied, at the very least. Unlike other theories. So it's about the community. Equal money system as community. So we're doing this for ourselves. We're doing this so that each one has the best for themselves. And of course, the best way to achieve that is using the equality equation. Because if you know someone has it better than you, then you see as if it's possible so that you can be in that better position along with everyone else. So for example, pretend right now I'm starving. I see there's people that are able to get their full nutrition and have a full healthy body and live to a good age. So let's try to create a system so that everyone can have that. And so we can see if we can have that. Right now there's more than enough food being created, and supermarkets are throwing food away from their shelves before they even expired into the dumpster. There's an interesting documentary on this, and let's just put the myth to rest that there isn't enough food, there just isn't enough money. So that's why one solution just on this small point is pretend nothing else exists. Besides this one point, of course there's other problems in the world, but just consider, okay, why not just give everyone food and just decide for everyone, okay, food is one thing that you will not have to pay for. You can pay for the rest stuff, whatever you want, but food is one thing that everyone will have unconditionally, period. And we have to find a way so that the farmers can still receive money, and everyone who works in the food production process still receive money. So how about this? We set up a system where money is given as a form of, like how it is right now, but it's just, if you were to draw a circle, okay, here's a circle. Money is sent from the starting point. Let's imagine this to be like nothing, like it's just a creation point. Here, I'll draw a circle. Okay, here's a circle. Now this circle has to be complete in order for, this is like the flow of money. The circle has to come into itself in order for money to work in any system. Now what I'm suggesting, and what I think also the equal money system is suggesting from what I've read about it, and also just thinking about it myself, is that we have a government, a people that decides to give money, and so the farmers get their money validated from here. So it's just basically, like right now we have money that's being printed and validated all the time, and they're given out from businesses to banks, etc. And the government still prints money, it's just you don't really know about it that much. And so even now, well, okay, there's more money right now, more debt in the world than there's money, so you can easily imagine that you can print money. So here, let's say you print new dollars, we give them to a farmer, he uses the money, he buys something with it. That money, when he buys it, instead of going to the person that's buying it, you just subtract it from the farmer. So here it equalizes already, here's a circle. He gets the money, he spends it, it gets subtracted, it's used up. And then you could pretend as if it goes right here to like, the original starting point, and that it reaches 0. And this person, whoever he bought it, he receives the money from here, the validated, agreed upon institution that we use, and then he uses it, sends it out here, and he buys something with it, and then just goes back, etc. He gets money, he uses it for something, he gets it back. And of course, he could save it, he can go around again, more money, and then he finally spends it. And he gets more and more and more. Or, I guess this makes sense. Go here, he gets more money, and then he finally spends it. I mean, the whole point that matters is that it goes to 0, which it does. And then this way we can decide, okay, everyone is going to receive $100 for food. Pretend this is going to be the amount we measure for the food for a person to be fully nourished. Like healthy, what we require. So, and of course we can do this on a bell curve if we wanted to. We say statistics, you have an idea what I'm talking about, where like the average person, you give them that amount of money if you want, or if you really want to, you can also well, I mean, you can do it by, let's see, if you have a bell curve, you just give them the average amount of what that money is. Let's say it's $100. So, let me think. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, but the idea is you just give them the amount, which is the bare minimum for a person that needs to eat. And this whole bell curve idea, actually, you have to take the statistics, find out whether it actually is a bell curve, or whether it's just, even just like one, like that, like a triangle, like a line or something. Like the amount of money that people need to be nourished. You're just looking for a bare minimum for that. You can do science, research, statistics, find out what that is. But let's not trouble ourselves with that right now. So you find out the amount of money you need to be nourished. You give them that amount of money to everyone. Everyone receives that equally. That's why we just say equal. Everyone receives $100. They get it here, and you can validate it, because this is how this validation system works. You can actually validate it either through bank statements, whatever. It's really simple. That they can only use this for food, so you can obviously validate it for supermarkets, for other places that uses food. And of course, the best way to do that is also have each and every place that gets food gets recognized as such, or even products too. So they get $100, they spend it for that, and then here they use $100. And we could have it so that it's just $100 a week or a day or a month, whatever works out. And so when they don't use it, you just take it away. It's not like you don't really need to be saving your nourishment. You just need what you need. And of course, if you see someone's not spending their money, then you know there's something wrong. And I mean, yeah, they just go from there. There's so many advantages from having a system that's completely community-based, that everyone can be aware of whether there's something wrong, a mental illness, or a sickness, or a person's gone missing. There's no one who everyone essentially has a family in this. If you're just part of the system, you could have no actual family in the sense of having people that are connected to you, or in friendships, but you always have the community. You always be connected. You always be, which is funny because right now we exist in the polarity of being afraid of Big Brother, or of etc. But that's because right now they're more than you. They have more power than you. Here they have equal power. Everyone has connection, the same connection. There's no politician has a special connection. No general has a special connection. Of nothing like that. Everyone has the same connection, same positions, and so we each have, in a sense, no power or equal power. No power in the sense I don't want anyone to have more power than me. And yeah, so there's more I can talk about this. Obviously this food application we applied for clothes, shelter, maybe you can make a budget for housing. You spend for housing. It can be a big budget, obviously. And all this stuff, all this money that go here, it all goes to someone. You can always you know, instead of like, you know, your money's traveling here, just go here, and this, whenever a person builds a house for you, he gets money. Whenever a person gives you food that he made or something like that, like a farmer, whenever your farmer works, he gets money. Whenever someone builds a house, someone repairs plumbing for you, it's part of a basic necessity, you get money. It's simple. It sort of looks like whatever. Yeah, here it looks like a butt, I guess. So there won't be any more bullshit in this community anymore. There's just gonna be full on, honest reality and what we need, what we want, period. No more my needs, my wants. It's all about the community, what the community needs, what the community wants. A community of individuals, no longer a hierarchy of a religion or a group or anything like that. Just equal power, equal freedom, and even like this is like small like versions of this is, for example, taxing right now all the corporations, and instead of, you know, this is the equal money system. Okay, so but if you want to tax corporations, you take their money, you give it to people like either middle class or poor people. I think you just give it to everyone, because you might as well do that. Like millionaires, they won't really care, like, oh, $10, $100 a month, I don't really care. But if you tax all the higher 1% or 10%, whatever you want, you just give everyone the money, then they can, obviously in the system, in an economy, goes like this. And this equal money system goes like this, which makes a closer community and better but in this economy, like a small version of this, like a step towards this, is to tax other people, like the corporations who make millions, billions of profits, and they can give poor people or everyone money so they can buy food, housing, shelter, things they need. They get it here, it sends it around. So this way the economy functions. The only thing is that the corporations, right now, according to many people, there's more stuff than there is money in the world, not just food, of TVs, everything. There's way too much stuff. The production is immensely crazy with the machinery nowadays. And right now, they're trying to restrict the flow. They have warehouses full of things, and they try to, if you can see like how iPods and how electronics are sent out, they're sent out at a specific pace right now, so they can get as much money as possible, that they use all their factory resources as much as possible to always make something slightly different, slightly new. So it's going at a snail's pace right now. Remember when computers used to rocket up and just shot up and just were totally changing like year by year? It was crazy. Now it's like they're trying to slow down a bit so they can make more money off of it. Obviously this wouldn't happen in an equal money system. I mean, why would it need to? I mean, there's no more corporation incentive of, oh, I want to become an entrepreneur, but it's just, I want to, you know, make an awesome iPod. It's not like, oh, I want to be entrepreneur to make an iPod for money. What he really wants to do is make money. No, I want to make an awesome iPod. So he's going to make it. He's the actual manufacturer. He's the scientist here. He's a, you know, it's like I have a friend who selects cars. You know, he could make an awesome new engine or just fix engines because he loves doing that. I mean, there are people who like making awesome new things like iPods. People like making new cars. Designers, just even for artistic appeals. The people who love to just draw cars all day. The people who love to make cars, the mechanics of it. Those are entrepreneurs. Those are people who love to do what they do, and they're doing that. I mean, also some of these maybe also just people who want to make a living and make money so they can raise a family, etc. Because in our system, we have to actually, in this current one, we have to give up our hopes and dreams and things we like to do in order to go after other ones. In this system, you won't have to. In the equal money system, you won't have to. You're able to go after things that you really like to do and make, according to our system, a good living, because you're supported with all the necessities which you can raise a family with, and with your income you get them extra stuff like toys or other things. We can even decide toys to be a bare necessity for all kids if we want to. We just decide to give it to everyone, and we just raise the price, and this keeps flowing. And yeah. So these aren't entrepreneurs. Well, these are actually objects, but the people who make these aren't entrepreneurs. I have to remind you of that. So the whole idea, like, oh, there won't be any more capitalism, there won't be any more innovation, that's just bullshit. I mean, we have people who like building things, inventing things, and not to make money, but because they actually like making the most fucking coolest iPod ever, or make the most coolest car ever. I mean, I've met those people. I'm sure you have too. You think things about them. And you're a person too. You have that thing which you like to do. So have faith in yourself and in humanity, that we each can exist within a community and function as one within the system. Yet, pursue our own lives, but within a community, so we're taken care of. Okay, so I hope that you found this really cool and awesome. I know I had a good time doing this, and I hope to see you on the flip side.